Thank you to Notion for sponsoring today's video. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So February has been an amazing month for me. I got to celebrate Chinese New Year and my birthday with my loved ones, but sadly, the month is coming to a close. So in today's video, we are going to be setting up my bullet journal for March 2022. And now, without further ado, let's start planning. So the theme that I went for this month is a Japanese desserts theme. There wasn't a specific reason why I went for this theme for March, but I guess I was kind of feeling hungry when I was brainstorming for a theme this month, and during that time, maybe I was also kind of craving some sweet and delicious Japanese desserts, so that's probably why I went for a Japanese desserts theme for this month. So yeah, for my cover page, I drew a lot of different Japanese desserts such as dango, which is rice dumplings on a stick, Swiss roll, strawberry sandwiches, mochi, pocky sticks, and besides that, I also drew in a cup of matcha latte. And as you can see here, for all the desserts, like usual, I sketch each and every one of them with a pencil, and then I color it in with my Tombow dual brush pens. And only after that, I went on to outlining each of the desserts with a brown pen instead of a black pen. I don't know why the video still makes me look like I'm using a black pen, but actually it's a brown pen, and honestly, I really like how everything turned out. And after I finished outlining, I went on to using my Sakura Jelly Roll white gel pen in the size 10 to add some highlights to the desserts. And I also used the fine tip of my Tombow dual brush pens to draw some matcha leaves and cherry blossom petals. And lastly, for the title, I decided to do a cute bubbly font with some drop shadows instead of the usual calligraphy. And I guess that's all for the cover page, so let's move on to my monthly log. So like all the previous months, I will be using this layout where I write down the days of the month vertically, and the space beside it is going to be for me to write down any important events during the month. Like for example, my boyfriend's birthday is on the 14th of March, so beside the number 14, I will be writing down a short note, boyfriend's birthday. And besides using it to write down events, I also like to use my monthly log to write down my assignment deadlines so that I can submit every assignment on time. And lastly, to finish off the spread, I highlighted all the Saturdays and Sundays of the month so that there is a visual separation between each week. Now, before we move on to the trackers, let's take a break and talk about our sponsor, Notion. So a lot of you guys have told me that bullet journaling is too time-consuming, you're not able to keep up with the system, and overall, it just isn't working for you. So today, I'm introducing to you an alternative, which is Notion. But first, what is Notion? So Notion is a space for you to take notes, manage tasks, set goals, and so much more. It's like digital bullet journaling, and it is very customizable where you can tailor everything to your own needs. And you can use Notion on your desktop, tablet, and even on your phone. Now let's jump right into how I set up my Notion page. So this is how the blank page looks like, and the first thing that you can do is to change the cover. There's actually a lot to choose from, but you can also use your own pictures that you have downloaded, and once you're done with the cover, you can also add an icon. So here I'm just adding a leaf emoji as my icon. And now you can just name the page, and I'm going to name it as a to-do list. Okay, now once you're happy with how it looks, you can click this plus button and you can see a lot of different features to choose from, like to-do lists, bulleted lists, callouts, databases, and also media such as images, videos, and files. But since this is a to-do list, I'm choosing the to-do list feature and just typing the things that I need to do. And my favorite thing about this to-do list feature is that you can just tick the checkbox once you have finished the task. And if you feel like the page looks a little bit too plain, you can play around and decorate it by adding pictures, quotes, callouts, and so much more. And here's how my to-do list page looks like after all the customization. I made it into a weekly to-do list where I have all the things that I need to do in the week, and there's also a section for my weekly events where I write down upcoming events, and also a calendar and a nice little quote from the movie Spirited Away. And besides a to-do list, I also use Notion for my work, which is YouTube. And here's how my Notion page for YouTube looks like. I customize it into a tutorial theme, and as you can see here, we have this month's video section where I check off the videos that I have uploaded. We also have a section for sponsors and video ideas where I just brainstorm video ideas that I want to do in the future. And lastly, I'm using the table database feature for my content planner. I have the published date, the video title, sponsors of the video, and also 3 columns where I can tick off the checkboxes when I finish filming, editing, and uploading it. And honestly, I really love the table database feature. It looks really organized and it is easy for me to see what needs to be done. So overall, Notion has helped me a lot in being more organized and productive. And if you're interested in trying out Notion, be sure to check out the links in the description box below. So now let's move on with our trackers, which are the mood and habit trackers. So for this month, I actually tried a different layout, a different graph layout for my trackers. Previously, my graph layout is like the horizontal line is the days of the month, and the vertical line is the moods and habits that I want to track. But for this month, it is just the opposite, where I have my days of the month on the vertical line and my moods and habits on the horizontal line. And since there is a lot of space in the middle, I decided to draw a big rectangular box with all the Japanese desserts inside. Oh yeah, so in my previous Plan With Me videos, I actually received comments on how the trackers work. So just in case you're still wondering how to use these trackers, I'm going to give a very brief explanation. So for example, the mood tracker. So if you're feeling happy on the first day of March, then all you need to do is maybe make a small symbol or just take the column of the happy mood. Whereas for the habit tracker, it's like when you did working out and journaling or any other habits that you want to track. Then just like the mood tracker, all you need to do is just make a little symbol or just take the column of the habits that you have done. I really hope that you guys understand what I am explaining, and yeah, that's basically how I use my trackers. So now, flipping over to the next page is going to be my trusty budget tracker. If you know me and watch all of my Plan With Me videos, you will know that I always include a budget tracker in all my monthly setups because I just find the spread really helpful in helping me to keep track of my income, expenses, and savings. So as usual, I will be using this table layout where I have 4 columns, each representing the date, the details, the plus sign is for income, and the minus sign is for expenses. And at the bottom, I have a space for me to calculate the total income and expenses at the end of the month. And yeah, I also drew in some desserts at the bottom left corner for some decorations, and I guess that's all for my budget tracker. Now, moving on to the next page is my brain dump spread. I actually didn't include this brain dump spread in my February setup, but I decided to bring it back this month. So for those of you who are wondering what is a brain dump for, it's actually a space where you can write down anything that you want. For me, I like to use it to write down my shopping list. Sometimes I also like to use it to write down video ideas that randomly pops into my mind. So yeah, there's actually no format to how you use the brain dump spread, and you can just write down whatever that you want to remember or to keep as a reminder. Now, the last 2 pages over here are going to be my first weekly spread of the month. I actually made 4 different weekly spreads for all the 4 weeks of March, but for today, I'm only showing the weekly spread for week 1, and the others will be in a separate video and it will most probably be uploaded on the first week of March. And yeah, let's get back to the spreads. So as you can see here, I drew 7 boxes that represents all the 7 days of the week, Monday to Sunday. And inside each of the boxes is where I will be writing down daily tasks that needs to be done. And on the top left corner, there's the title, which is March Week 1, and underneath it, I allocated some space for my weekly events, and that is where I will be writing down events that are happening in that week. So here's the final flip through of my bullet journal setup for March 2022. It's kind of funny that this Japanese desserts theme was made because I was craving something sweet, but yeah, I'm really glad that it turned out well. So if you enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe and follow my Instagram and Kofi at lootengstudio. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.